Oh, yeah, that's funny.
All right.
Oh, I need the gator thing in the vision a little bit. Right? Remind the people. All right. Y'all ready?
Hold on.
God damn it, Nick.
That way the gator thing shows up and we don't have to look at Nick's baseball room. Actually, it might be better if we do this. All right, cool.
I want to make sure I'm not a shadow this week.
Very good.
All right.
It can be tough to see when never mind. This is being recorded. Never mind.
No, I got a light now, fam. I got a light right here. We good to go.
Life upgrades.
No, I didn't know last week I was blacked out. The could be big a little bit. And I don't watch the on YouTube, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, that's another thing is we're going to start putting our videos. Spence, stay on after. We're going to put them on another platform as well. I'll tell you about that after. We're going to make some money on that too.
Nice. All ready? Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Stadium Miguel. It's your favorite Uncle Silk.
It's Dan.
And Nick.
Same corner, same time. How y'all feeling out the official Silk weekend?
But tell us a little bit about it, man. Happy birthday. A big 3-9, right? So next year's the big one.
Yeah, 39 is this year's, man. Beautiful occasion. 40 is gonna be stupid big, Dan. I gotta bring in the Tigers like Mike Tyson and whatnot on 40.
Maybe I'll have Andy from Hong Kong there on retainer. Just for
hey, he should customize me something special on my birthday, man. I do got something different. Like when I listen back to the show, I don't want to say any man's name in the word hung in the same sentence. That's what I came to.
I think that's just that's on you and the way you're pronouncing it.
Right? You think so?
I think
so. I say Hong Kong, and I'm not even. I don't even think we're in the same neighborhood on our pronunciation.
Hong is Hong.
Pronounce it with you. Putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable there.
Oh, hold on 1 second, Nick. Pronounce it both ways for me real quick so I can hear the difference.
Hong Kong.
Okay.
Hong Kong.
That's how you pronounce it.
Now, what's the other Hong? Hong is Hong.
Hong. H-O-N-G. Hong.
Hong Kong.
So say H-U-N-G real quick.
Yes, you're saying Hong Kong.
Hong.
Hong.
And Hong. You got it? Hong.
Too close.
All right, we're getting canceled.
All right, hey, great starts the show this week, boys.
Getting canceled.
The weekend was beautiful, man. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying, everybody that came out and supported. I had a great time. The music was great. The food was great. We had a good time with a live painter. We had a trombonist and a band there, a couple rappers. Shout out to my man, Zach Appleverde, who put on an amazing show while they was painting Joe Hayden. Just beautiful ambiance, man. Zach did his thing, man. He was cooler than a fan.
Shout out to
I didn't know he was that cool, man. He's a little bit cooler when he's not writing.
Yeah? He's not pissing off the Gator fan base. He's doing all right.
I forgot he made them mad. I didn't even know he made them mad until like after we had the party. He tweeted something, so I was like, let me go check out his page. And I seen like his ratios off. I was like, why has he got so many quote tweets?
Because people are still mad from something that happened 7-8 months ago, you know? Big Gator Nation never forgets. Nick, you'll remember that, right? Whatever you say sticks around. Well, not you. You're a fan favorite, but everybody else.
Yeah, I haven't caught that Edgar heat, that Zach Appleverde, Chris Steele heat. I haven't caught that yet.
Right, you just hang around, buddy.
I'm just trying to lay low.
Nick just puts memes up there because you can't go wrong, right?
I'm just the GIF game is strong. Just keep throwing those out. Fan favorite.
See, you know how to take it in stride. You take the heat with some giggles. Zach got the strategy of disappearing. He was like, I'm not responding. So you make it fun right away, and people have fun with it. But
I'm just like, damn, I'm stupid. Zach's like, ooh, that doesn't seem like it's going my way. Mute tweet. Let's go head out and hang out with the kids.
I love it.
But the champagne is still going a little bit. The weekend was dope. I had a good time. Shout out to everybody that came out and hung out with me, man. 39 was a beautiful birthday. My best birthday ever, by the way.
That's awesome, man. Well, happy birthday. Shout out to you. Looking forward to more celebrations with you in the future. And shout out to putting some Bel Air in the name, or putting some Bel Air in the air, my bad. That's the reason they gave me the name Bel Air Dan. So.
Bel Air Dan. We got to make it happen. Shout out to my pulled up, former Stadium Miguel host. Pulled up and hung out, him and Katie and the family. it was dope seeing Ahmad in person again. He had a red suit that was just slapping. I'm glad I almost bought a red suit then.
I know Ahmad looked good, man. I got to tell him he's got to unbutton that bottom button. You got a couple people that were violating some fashion norms, but that's okay.
No,
I wasn't there to show them, so that's on me. I'll get it fixed for next time.
How did I grade out, Dan, on the film?
A perfect 10. You look great. The suit looked good.
Champion? A grade out champion?
Great out as a champion.
Let's go.
Yeah, there's some. I think there are some jokes, but not from my end. Not from my end.
Somebody joked on my outfit. I thought it was pretty.
No, not on the outfit. Just on you, your stature, if you will.
Oh, I don't care about that. I am who I am.
You know? I am who I am.
You know?
Well, shout out to you. Again, couldn't make it. Apologies for that. Ended up last minute. Ended up at a Pauly D concert for about 25 minutes, 30 minutes. So that was fun for about 25, 30 minutes, and then I was on my way. But other than that, a relaxing weekend.
You started the bender back, I could tell.
No, sir. No, sir. The bender is off.
Nick, what do you think?
I think you know when you watch the show Intervention and like you see people's faces change and they realize they're on the show Intervention.
Right.
I think Dan realized he was on the show Intervention last Monday and was like, you know what? I do have these tickets to the rave on Sunday, and I am gonna wait to go to rehab until after I see DJ Pauly D. We got a couple other things planned between now and the end of the year. 2022 is my year. Nick, how was your weekend? Good? No, good. Not a bad weekend. Enjoyed some Olympics. We had some family stuff going on. So just kind of a relaxed, laid-back weekend.
What's up with the basketball team?
The United States basketball team or the Florida Gators basketball team or all basketball? Just enjoy.
Nah, we giving Mike White a break right now. Just United States.
Just catching an L to France.
Yeah,
I mean,
go ahead.
I know that like the world's caught up in basketball, and it's not like the dream team anymore. But like, maybe Pop's a Hall of Fame coach. Maybe he's just not cut out like to coach the Olympics.
No, don't disrespect Pop. Pop is a legend. I think Pop got the X and O's figured out. I just think some of our pro guys are used to this goofy basketball we play over here. The extra traveling, the drawing fouls, the flopping. Foreign league is just different. And I don't think they're used to that World League basketball. They were looking for NBA refs out there a little bit.
Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
No, I was just going to say I've only watched a little bit of it. It doesnn't look inspired. Just like bad. I'm curious to see if they figure it out between now and the end of the year the end of the Olympics, because catching an L to Nigeria, they lost to Australia. Before the Olympics, now they lose to France. I think they're 1-3 in their last 4. So the first time that they've lost a game since 2004 in the Olympics. So
real quick,
not a good start.
Great question. Do you think they lose these games with LeBron?
Probably not.
I would hope not too. But no offense to LeBron, he kind of plays the same game these guys do.
No. Respect the GOAT, man. We've seen the GOAT navigate in foreign Olympic territory. He does his thing, man. Let's move on. We're not. It's not. Go ahead. What you got? More Olympic stuff?
I was watching that. What they call them? They called them the Redeem team. So when they lost, they brought back that team, and then it was like LeBron and Kobe on the same team, and just they showed some like behind the scenes stuff of practice, and I'm like, nobody is going 80% in practice when Kobe and LeBron are also going through that same practice. Like that's not even acceptable, and you're gonna get left behind if you're doing that. And I wonder if it might be like just like a hacky journalism take, but I wonder if the Americans care enough or as much as these other teams. And I think it might just be like, hey, we just had a long NBA season. I'm supposed to be in like Turks and Caicos right now on a banana boat enjoying some margaritas.
Of the league, so many great players in the league now are not from America. That's another thing too. So like some of our best NBA players.
I mean, France has what? Has Evan Fournier and maybe 1 or 2 others. It's not like these teams are chock full of people, right? I don't know. I think that there's something obviously wrong. I don't know if it's passion. I don't know if it's Popovich. I don't know what it is, but it's not a good look.
I just think it's an off year. It's supposed to be last year, right? It was supposed to be last year. I don't think they got the same roster that they originally wanted. These players are like fresh out of the playoffs, a weird short season on the turnaround season. Like the NBA playoffs was weird this year. Like it was a lot of like abnormal stuff going on, man.
Yeah, but I think that's something that had to do with injuries and stuff like that. And maybe that's carrying over, but still, the United States does have top to bottom more talented players, not necessarily more talented team. I also don't know how often they practiced, if they did practice, what it all looked like beforehand. Either.
There you go. Because most of those world teams, they gel together. Like basketball is such a chemistry, or most sports is just chemistry when you're playing team sports. So like guys starting to take out some guys that were supposed to play, not playing. New fresh faces, they haven't played together like that, man.
And European basketball, I mean, that's who they're losing to. I mean, obviously they lost Nigeria and Australia, so
everybody.
But
European of the world.
But European basketball, it plays very differently than United States basketball. Not just from the fouls and everything else. It's just the game is very different. I think was it Luka Doncic that said recently that he thought it would be harder to score in the NBA than it was. So. It's a different game, but there is no reason the United States should be losing to Australia, Nigeria, or France on pure talent alone.
Well, speaking about Luka, Slovenia, there's no team gelling. They were just like, "Yo, get 77 the ball, and he's going to put in 48 points, and we're gonna win our first game." Luka, most points for somebody playing in their first Olympic game ever,
and I think that's the first time Slovenia ever made the Olympics. So.
Yeah, wonder why.
But he's that good in the NBA to carry a team to the playoffs. So I'm pretty sure he could carry world teams to a medal, or close to one. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Some of our best players aren't from this country.
But still, top to bottom, they've got the most talented roster by far, by leaps and bounds. But stay tuned next week for the Stadium in Gale United States Olympic podcast, where we follow up on all these takes. What?
I think this is the last one.
No, don't they? They've got more games and stuff. They only lost one.
No, for us.
Oh, we won't revisit. Stay tuned. Speaking of the fact that we didn't talk anything about the Florida Gators, let's get into that. But before we do that, let's give a shout out to a new sponsor for the next couple of weeks. We are in a partnership with the folks over at Home Field Apparel, who, in my opinion, creates the best apparel, a lot of retro apparel for college sports teams. They've been around for a number of years now. They've done a lot of schools in the Big 10, the Big 12, Pac-12s, some smaller schools. But this week on July 31st, so Saturday, they are officially launching their Florida Gators apparel for the first time ever. They have 15 new designs that are going to be coming out on Saturday. In my opinion, unbelievable selection of options, a lot of retro stuff. I think that everybody will be really, really impressed with what you're going to see. So on Saturday, take a look at homefieldapparel.com. Sign up on their website. You can get 10% off by just putting your email address or your phone number. They'll text you, let you know when it's live. No promo code for SG or anything else. Just go over to Home Field Apparel on Saturday. We're going to continue to push out stuff for them all week and next week. But again, homefieldapparel.com. Take a look at all their stuff, and congratulations to the fans that are going to be getting a brand new closet full of Gator stuff. Nick,
not to be a tease, but I'm looking at some of the stuff that they sent us, and I'm zooming in here on my phone, looking at some designs that I think I'd like to have in my closet.
Yeah, there's probably 7 or 8 shirts that I would definitely see myself wearing. Silk, I can see you in a lot of these. But just some really, really cool stuff, some retro stuff, some fun and gun, national championship stuff.
I'm looking at this shit now. Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures of some of the this is when I get my package. Pause.
The end of the week.
Yeah, and I've worn some of their stuff before too. Really comfortable. So it's like the retro design, which I think is in right now. Possibly, maybe one of the best.
Nostalgic.
I think it's the best Florida logo ever. I see on one of those shirts, and the shirts are really comfortable, really soft.
What's your favorite logo ever?
Favorite logo, Nick?
I'm not sure what year it's from, but it's the UF like that. It's like in a circle. There's the U on top, F, and then there's
your favorite
gator
logo.
I think that's one of the best ones. I also like Old School Albert.
Old School Albert is my joint.
The Fighting Gator one, yeah.
And the reason I like that one, if you go to Belgrade, there's a water tower there with that Old School Albert on it. No, Belgrade's a big Gator town, man, but they got the Old School Albert there and this little Florida Gator experimental sugarcane place behind it. But that's my joint. Old School Albert. What you got, Dan?
So Nick, I just looked it up. That logo is from the late 70s through, I guess maybe the early 90s. 79 and 94. I like that one. That 79 and 94, the UF one. My mom went to UF around that time, and so we have some stuff hanging up at my parents' house that had that logo. So that's the logo that I'm most familiar with. I love that one. I think it's unique. But the Albert is by far a very, very close second. After that, I mean, I like the logo they have now and everything else, but I think those two are leaps and bounds ahead of everything else we have.
I'm not a fan of the Fast F. Is that what they're calling
it? I'm not either. No.
I don't like that. I can't remember when they switched over to. They switched over, I think, like right around the time I started. It's like 2013, 2012-ish. Yeah, not a fan of the Fast F or that font. They kind of use it for a lot of things now, for most of the sports.
Everything. I mean, all branding, it seems like at UF is that way. There's some wild logos. If you look back at some of the Gator logos from the 50s, 60s, 70s, there's some wildly interesting old Albert renditions out there. So, but shout out if you are looking for anything retro. They're also going to be putting out some stuff for this generation as well. But really good material. Nick, I know that you said you've worn some of their stuff. I've only seen some of their stuff, but it looks very comfortable. I know it lasts long. So check it out, homefieldapparel.com on Saturday. It's not going to be up there before then. So people today were already like, I went on their website and there's nothing there. Just wait. Saturday at noon Eastern time, you'll be able to buy whatever your heart desires. They've got hoodies, shirts, tank tops, all of that. I'm not sure if some of this stuff is coming on, multiple different types, but they've got the 3/4 sleeve, like baseball shirt and stuff like that too. So homefieldapparel.com. Before we dive too deep into the show, Nick, we've got a potential rest in peace, but maybe just a short-term death to Grog House, which announced the city is shutting them down. So that allows the two best bars that have always been the two best bars, Salty Dog and Balls, is the only two original, my original version of Midtown still left standing. The two best bars are still the two best bars that are still standing now. It's no coincidence, Nick. Your bars are getting shut down and mine are surviving pandemics, roof collapses, faulty piping, everything else. So shout out to Balls and Salty Dog.
Balls and Salty Dog.
Yeah. Salty
sounds like a crazy night, man.
Salty's my number one. Balls should also be closed. That's Balls' disaster. Shout out to you like this. So Silk. So Balls has a window that opens, and back when we were in like undergrad, game day, they would sell like these little bottles of rum, whiskey, vodka, whatever you wanted. So you'd be drinking at Midtown, and then on your way to the stadium, you could buy a couple of these little bottles that were easy to conceal. Like if you're wearing like some compression shorts under your shorts, you can slide that right inside of your leg. You walk through, go inside, you grab a Pepsi, and now you're dumping in your whiskey, your rum, whatever, before they were selling alcohol at the stadium. So that was probably the best thing that Balls ever did, was allowing drinking in the stadium before it became a moneymaker for the university.
So again, Balls is making your collegiate experience in Gainesville
as I pass by.
Yeah, as you pass. Well,
when to go inside.
All right, Silk, you've been to Gainesville a lot. Midtown, that area. What was your favorite bar that's still there? Maybe a bar that's gone. What's your go-to, or was your go-to?
Man, I don't want to be jumping on one side of the fence, man. I know how y'all are about these bars, bro.
He's trying to keep all avenues open.
Hey, I'm gonna just say the most
my favorite Purple Porpoise because they're not there anymore.
No, real quick, my favorite
penny pitcher night, Purple Porpoise.
I like to keep it a buck for the streets, man. So my favorite establishment in Gainesville, outside of Ben Hill Griffin, is White Buffalo.
All right, so back to the question. At Midtown. Which White Buffalo is a beautiful downtown establishment.
You gonna put me in the corner?
You've had places like the Swamp, Rowdy Reptile.
I like Swamp.
Grog, Balls. You had Excess. You had Gator City. You had Purple Porpoise.
Balls, man. I gotta ride with Balls.
I love it. Nick?
I gotta ride Balls. I just got some good.
You ever been inside?
Of course I've been there. Like, come on. Who are you talking to, bro? You listen to this show?
Yeah. No, I just show up on Monday. That's it.
Of course I've been to balls. I've been to all of them, man. I mean, they're all college bars. I went as a grown-ass man to most of these, so they don't slap like I was a student. Yeah. So they all pretty much like extremely cheap. I feel like a millionaire in there because it's like $2 drinks or something crazy. I'm from South Florida where drinks are $15. So I feel rich when I go in them, but the only thing that feels close to South Florida in Gainesville to me ever has been White Buffalo. So
it was crazy back in the day, Nick, and I want to hear your answer. Mine's obviously balls. Wearing the cap for it today. Shout out
balls
to,
on your head, like Nick
shout out to my friends over at Dome Hats. It was wild. So back in the day, I think it was on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they had $10 all you can drink, they had dollar singles and $2 doubles. There'd be days that you went in there and you were trying to buy drinks for other people so you could hit that $10 card minimum, back in the day. So shout out to balls, my favorite. Nick?
I didn't spend a ton of time at Grog, but I did a couple beat the clocks there. They used to have, I think it was Monday.
Nick, no, Dan, which one we was at when we was with Annie getting all tossed up that night?
Oh, that was Midtown Social.
No. We went to one after that.
Oh, that was Salty Dog.
Salty Dog. That's my joint.
That's your joint. All right.
That's my joint. I take that
some
back.
Miami Racers or some zipper heads. I don't think you can say that
Salty
anymore,
Dog. Shout to my man T-Mac. T-Mac man's work at Salty Dog. He's hooked me up with a lot of drinks in that place. I forget his name, but he remembers my face. So shout out to Salty Dog. And also my man Jackson Raymond takes me to Salty Dog.
Jackson's got it wrong. The younger generation calls it dog, and it's either Salty or the Salty Dog Saloon if you want to be super formal about it. But It's either Salty or the Salty Dog Saloon, not dog. But back when we were undergrads, like Swamp was the place. Like Swamp's happy hour Thursday.
I remember Swamp when I was like going to games when I was like 17, 18, 19. Yeah. That's when the Swamp was the spot. For sure.
Yeah. RIP Swamp. They're moving it over somewhere else to Innovation Square. But if you weren't in line or at happy hour on like Thursday by 3, like you weren't getting in that night. It just like, people sat down and that was it.
They used to do on Monday nights when I was in school, they did 25-cent wings. And it was either 25 or 50-cent wings and then $5 buckets. You used to be able to get 10 wings and a bucket of beer with a tip for $12. I mean, that's a hell of an evening. That's a hell of a Monday night.
Yeah, man. Longer. Hey, mark me down for Salty Dog. That's my spot. All right, great
man. He just turned his back on balls.
I love balls.
He got confused.
Pause. I love balls. Pause.
We're getting you in trouble with the name of the bars.
Naming these bars. Let's talk about that.
Balls Bookstore. Alec, I need that on TikTok. I just need Silk saying I love balls. Wow.
So back in the day. The guy that owned balls also owned a place called Jack's downtown. And if you swiped your card, it would come up as Jack's Balls.
That's wild. Like,
but if you swipe your credit card at Balls, I don't know if it's still this way. I'm sure it is. It now shows up as Balls Bookstore. Yeah. So if you needed to convince your parents you were just buying, some of those blue books to do your tests in, or Scantrons or pencils, you consistently run 11:30 p.m. Trips to the bookstore to get some pencils,
I got some great ball jokes, but I'm just gonna chill.
Save it for the Manscaped read.
Yeah, I like that.
We had night library at UCF. Had like $5 liquor pitchers at night library. All of a sudden, like, hey, why is there a $75 charge at the library? Like, I'm just really trying to get that GPA up, Mom.
I'm working hard, Mom.
gotta buy the internet, right?
Yeah. That's the tutor.
Oh man. All right, boys, let's get in. A bunch of news happened. It's going to be a really good content-heavy show. So Gators announced that fall camp is going to start for this season on August 6th. Nick, you did some reporting on that. Does that align with just about when everybody else is starting? Is there what's going on with the start of the football season?
Yeah, it's always so the NCAA changed a bunch of rules. There was a 5-year study on, head trauma and CTE. And so they've changed a bunch of rules, but they didn't. So they're limiting how many days you can do full pads, how many days you can do full hitting, but they're not giving like more time to give like days off in between practice. So it's going to be different. I think it's going to lead to some sloppy play on the defensive side of the ball, kind of around the country. But it's always about 5 weeks before the start of the season. So season starts September 4th. I don't think Florida's come out. It's just what I've been told, August 6th. I don't think Florida's come out and announced it yet, but that's about 5 weeks, and that's what I've been told. So just went ahead and put it out there today. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. So like some of the rules are, as I pulled up here, teams are mandated to have 7 padless practices. It used to be, I believe, 3, where you're just in either only helmets or shells, which would be just shoulder pads and helmets. The number of contact practices was decreased from 21 to 18 during the preseason. They've also banned straight line contact drills, so like an Oklahoma drill, stuff like that. When we would be out at practice and we would take videos of the Florida, of everyone, you know, like I think Urban Meyer used to call them like the circle of life. When you have, you know, just blocking drills, they're not going to be able to do that stuff anymore. You can also only have 75 minutes of contact in any given practice, and it's illegal to have more than 2 straight days of full contact practices. So it's a big change to the way. I mean, still growing up, you play football. It's like, hey, you don't want to be in fall camp. That's when you're doing 2 a days, 3 a days, everything.
3 a days. When I played when I played JUCO ball, man, like that was the wildest thing I ever experienced. 2 a days was already like torture. When I went off to school and I realized it was 3 a days, like it was a bloodbath, man. A lot of injuries.
Yeah, so that stuff is no longer, you know, football. It used to be the crucible. You used to have to survive fall camp to like earn the right to go play the games, and now, now it's kind of just like I don't even know how much hitting these boys are actually going to do, you know, in practice. And then all of a sudden you get into the first game, and it's like, well, we haven't actually played full speed football at all since, you know, spring, if we even had segments like that. So I think you're going to see some sloppy play, especially on the defensive side of the ball, missed tackles, stuff like that.
It felt like that was only from our program last year, though. Like everybody kind of didn't get physical because of how like last year played out.
Ole Miss put up 600 on Alabama.
Yeah, but everybody eventually got better. We were still like,
well, yeah, that was early in the season.
Right.
Everyone figured it out eventually.
Right.
The excuses I was making for Ty Grantham lasted like a month, and then everyone else started to play football.
Right, same here. Yeah, I couldn't cape anymore.
It had an expiration date.
It could be cape or cap in this manner, Dan. So
okay,
cap if I was lying for him, but I didn't feel like I was lying.
No, I don't think
it's to save him. I feel like I was saving him.
Your cape turned to cap.
There you go.
Yeah,
but then it turned to my truth, because now I live my truth, and Ty Grantham doesn't have it together, he got to go, you know?
Well, what's wild, Nick, is you'll see in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we're right in the middle, right to the end of spring or fall practice. There's some good news coming out. Ventrell Miller's doing what he needs to do. Kyrie Elam, Jason Marshall's probably nipping on Hill's toes to get that starting spot, and all of a sudden – you know, Silk just needed, you know, Grantham just needed an off season with his personnel.
I'm ready to lie for Grantham right now. I'm ready to cap in this manner. I'm ready to cap. I've been capping a little bit for Grantham, but I'm doing it with a terms and conditions.
A little trepidation.
A little disclaimer, I would say.
You got like the auctioneer reading off the terms and conditions at the end of the commercial.
Right, like the car commercials. So I feel good about the additions they made at defensive tackle, Zach Carter being in his right spot, Cox and Bogle just being animals. Like I know the front four is going, so I'm buying into that whole idea.
See? So Nick, I got
my cap out for that.
Yeah, that's right. He's laying the foundation. This is the house that gets built. That's right.
But if we come out with the shenanigans, I'm firing him like right off. I don't got time to play. He got to go. Like I'm ready to fire.
FAU scores 21.
First play of the game, Kyrie Elam's 12 yards.
We may score 70. No. If we do any, if we're getting beat on any shenanigans with like. I don't want to talk about it. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I just want to be full cap right now.
I love it. Let
me cap.
All right, perfect. So speaking of Kyrie Elam, he was announced today that he is on the Jim Thorpe Award watch list, so congratulations to him. Gators linebacker Ventrell Miller was also named for the second year in a row to the Butkus Award watch list, so congratulations to both of those boys. You're going to probably start seeing more watch lists come out in the next couple of days. I think that you're going to see Kyrie Elam's name on a few others. With that being said, before we get to some big SEC news, Heisman odds have come out. So I want to get your guys' thoughts here. JT Daniels, this is per betonline.ag, which is one of the top betting sites online. JT Daniels, 5-1 odds to win the Heisman Trophy. He's the number 1 odds-on favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. Spencer Rattler, number 2 at 7-1. Bryce Young at 10-1, Alabama's new quarterback. Emory Jones, I think, ends up about 9 or 10 down that list at 25-1 odds. What are your thoughts on JT Daniels at 5-1 odds?
Real quick.
And then do you like Emory Jones at 25-1? I
just got a betting question.
Okay.
Is there a way for me to bet that there's no way he even gets in like the top 5 with JT Daniels? Is there a way for me to make a bet on that?
I got to find. There might be a prop bet out there, so
it's got to be. I got to find that one because like who's calling the plays for him to execute to get like the stats and all that to be a Heisman candidate?
Well, just remember about this time last year, I think Jamie Newman was about 9 odds to win the Heisman Trophy. So again, you can take all of this with a massive grain of salt. But what are your thoughts? I mean, from a football perspective, Nick, obviously, you were at SEC Media Days. JT Daniels gets named SEC second team quarterback. There's a lot of hype about what JT Daniels might be able to bring to the table. What are your thoughts on him? I mean, where do you think that this is coming from? Do you think it's him? Do you think it's Georgia? Do you think it's a lack of a real clear favorite? What are your thoughts?
I think a mixture of everything you just said. So when he left Georgia, one of my good friends, Ryan Young, used to work
USC. You mean?
Yeah, sorry. When he left for Georgia, when he left USC, one of my good friends, Ryan Young, covered Florida with SEC Country before they went defunct, and he was a big JT Daniel fan. Obviously, got to cover him for a little bit before he transferred. But I just haven't seen it, and I think he's okay. And I think all you have to be, it's almost like the Friday Night Lights movie. It's just like, hey, all you have to do is exist in the 2 seconds to hand Booby the ball. That's all you got to do to play quarterback. So I think he's fine. Like Georgia has enough talent around him on offense that I think they'll be fine on offense, but I don't think they win because of him. And I think when you're talking Heisman, you're talking about this guy is causing his team to win. So for me, I'm at SC Media Day talking to people. I'm either missing the boat or I'm right, because there was so much love for JT Daniels, and I just think he's okay. So when I see Heisman, I think I'm either way off or everyone else is way off, and hopefully for me, everyone else is way off. I'm just not a big JT Daniel fan. I'm with Silk. I'm going to find someone to take that action for me to bet that he's not even like invited to New York or wherever they're going to do it this year for the Heisman. So I don't get it. I think it's a little bit of hype that he's one of the returners. I think the quarterbacks around the SEC, it's kind of weak this year when you look at it, and people really don't know what to expect from Emory Jones. People don't really know what's going to happen at Texas A&M and Tennessee and Alabama's, even with Bryce. But Alabama's got a brand new quarterback. So I think it's the SEC being a little bit down at the position, and then Georgia being projected to be really good, and hey, that's the guy that's going to lead them. Because listen, you're not going to win the Heisman on a losing team,
right?
Probably the last one to do that was Tebow, or did that A&M team not do well?
Well, no, I mean Tebow's team was 9-3, and they only lost by a combined like 15 points or 20 points, right? It's not like they were getting their doors blown off. I mean, I think that Tebow just had such an unbelievable season that year. You had to give it to him. On top of that, defense just didn't play well. I think for me, Silk, and then I want to hear your thoughts. I don't know if JT Daniels has enough weapons to get him the stats that he needs, because I don't think that he's athletic enough to get them on his own, right?
I just think it comes down to like play callers. Like we can talk about these kids all we want, but like you look at the kids that winning Heisman, they have like great play callers behind them too. Like I don't think Georgia has the offense, the nuance. Like Tebow went on his run with our head coach right now, Dan Mullen. You know what I'm saying? Like think about the guys that go on these runs. Steve Spurrier sent Danny Warfel. Like these guys make these runs with great offensive coordinators that's behind them. I don't think they have that at Georgia. I don't even like. This is just from a hype standpoint. They know Vegas know they could gather votes from Georgia, and that name JT Daniels. So a lot of it's just predicated on also like it's a business. Betting is a business.
Yeah, and remember Heisman odds, while they do target a favorite, and that's what you can look at it, it's also a way to attract money too, right? It's a way to attract money for them to be able to offset some of their bets as well. So while it is a favorite, and that doesn't necessarily mean that anybody truly believes he's the actual potential winner as much as it is to potentially draw action.
They don't build those gigantic palaces out in the desert for being wrong. And when you're looking at preseason hype for a Georgia quarterback, get that money now because you're opening the season with Clemson. So that hype train might be over by 10 p.m. on Saturday, September 4th. Yeah. And Vegas is just going to go ahead and just go cash all those bets right now. Because unless he comes out and throws for 3-something and they upset Clemson, like the rest of Georgia's schedule, because Heisman, as much as Silk was saying, is about stats and your team being good and all that, but you also need moments. And the rest of their season, UAB, South Carolina, Vandy, bad Arkansas, Auburn, that's a rivalry game, a yearly rivalry game for them at Auburn. Maybe you could have a moment there, but then it's Kentucky, Florida, Missouri, Tennessee, Charleston Southern, Georgia Tech. Where after the Clemson game, Florida game, where are you going to have your Heisman moment?
But it is good for him that if he does have a bad game against Clemson, he's got all those games to try to put up a bunch of numbers after that and try to get people to forget.
And then we're going to wreck his day.
Yeah.
That boy gonna have a bad time.
Grantham defense.
Put that cape on, so put that cape on.
Give me a minute. Let me put it on real quick. Listen, my pass rush is Bogle, Brenton Cox, Zach Carter. You know what I'm saying? Gert Von Dexter in the middle. Ventron. They sent the boy he went to media day. He with the shenanigans, Dan.
I do.
I'm ready.
I'm here for it. You know what?
It's lion season.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of lies
coming to play, man.
2+ years that we've done this, I'm ready for you to, be able to lie now and be true for the entire season, my dude.
I'm almost in season mode, man. 5-6-1 he just got put up for the Thor.
Right.
We ready to cook. We ready to shut down one side of the field, man. I just hope your boy Jaden Hill's ready. If he's ready, then the defense ready. I think everything lays on Jaden. Everything falls on Jaden Hill.
That's a wild take, and it's multiple weeks that you've had this. That the entire season lies on Dan's
guy, Dan's guy, Jaden Hill.
That's right. Silk has the entire defense. Everything can go wrong for him. If Jaden Hill misses one play,
I'm just saying he's gonna catch a lot of passes on the other side of Elam, so he's got to be ready, man. So if he's ready, then man, I got us undefeated.
Dan's family member, Jaden Hill. That's where we're evolving to.
I just want everybody to know that Silk said if Jaden Hill does his job, the Gators are going undefeated.
There we go, man. That's my take, man.
You heard it here first. All right,
I kid.
Let's get into SEC realignment before we get into the finalization of SEC Media Days from last week. Obviously, the big news came out late I guess it was during the middle of the SEC Media Days. It really started to percolate a bit more throughout the rest of the season. And then today, both Oklahoma and Texas released a statement saying that they will not be renewing their media rights after the 2025 year. With that being said, that would disclude their continued involvement with the Big 12 and the potential joining of the SEC. What are your thoughts on Oklahoma and Texas joining the SEC? Besides media, rights and TV and everything else, do you think the addition of Texas and Oklahoma makes the SEC stronger, or what are your thoughts?
It makes it insane.
Last week I was sitting here talking about, because we were talking about the college football playoff expanding, and I'm like, yeah, you're not going to have divisions, and you guys were like, what? How do you not have divisions? And I'm like, well, thank you.
You still got to divide it.
Thank you, Texas. You're going to have pods now, so that's not even like divisions. You have
we're going to get to pods here in a second, Nick.
So the part that I love is that like everyone, for some reason, I don't hate Texas, but it seems like everyone in the Big 12 hates Texas. And Oklahoma's just like skating by as like using Texas as like their meat shield. Like everyone's just yelling at Texas and how could you do this? And Oklahoma's just like riding behind them silently, like, yeah, we're leaving too, but nobody seems to care.
Well, Texas is not only the big dog in the Big 12. They are a big dog in the country. They're also an incredible academic institution. They bring a ton of money. They have a ton of alumni. They bring a lot. Oklahoma, fine school, obviously good athletic program. They've bounced around to be a good program in gymnastics and softball and some other sports as well. But I think when it comes to size and donations and just worldwide attention, the University of Texas brings worldwide attention, whereas the University of Oklahoma, obviously, if they wanted to do this on their own, obviously there would be, you wouldn't be like this. You wouldn't be talking about basically the dissolution of college football outside of the SEC.
Texas is like us leaving the SEC to go to the Big 12.
I would agree.
They like us.
I would say that Texas might even be bigger just as a school, as a brand.
But if we left
University of Florida's rising, but
Texas is probably bigger. I agree with you, Dan. But if we left the SEC, that's how mad people would be. Like,
for sure. If we went to the ACC, if we went to the Big Ten, if Florida did, this would cause just as much of a stir. And if Florida and Georgia went together, it would be the same magnitude, I think, in my opinion. But the attention would be on Florida leaving, not on Georgia leaving the same way.
Well, no one's leaving the SEC now. Like Texas A&M is all mad because they were able to get out of Texas's shadow, put the SEC logo on their chest. They were feeling good about themselves. And all of a sudden, Big Brother is now joining them in this new league. And they're mad. And people are like, Texas A&M is going to pick up the ball and leave. I'm like, no one's leaving this money. Right. The SEC gets paid right now $50 million a year by CBS to play one game, maybe 2 games a week. That money goes up to $300 million a year. No one's leaving. Vanderbilt's in the corner being like, hey, are we still invited? Can we still be part of this party? We would love to be here.
I'm just so caught up in business now. So the first thing I thought of when you adding those fan bases to the SEC, I'm thinking of those listens and the Texas business I could do, getting a Texas podcast, all that. Like, that opens up so much, man. Like, the whole college football has just changed. Like,
looks like give me a little piece of that Texas oil mafia money.
Well,
we already Texas oil mafia money. That's mine now.
Our listeners in Texas, our 4th most listened to city on this here podcast is Dallas, Texas.
I'm telling you,
4th most listened.
All my podcasts I do, top 3, 4 listens are all Texas. Houston, Dallas is pumping out there in Texas. I love it.
Put those horns up, Silk.
Everything's bigger out there.
Horns down, right?
Listen.
Hey, I haven't seen a team get penalized for Gator chomp ever. So Texas was bitching and moaning a while ago about horns down. That's coming back.
The Big 12 was bending over. Big 12 was bending over backwards. They're like, horns down is going to be penalized. And Texas is like, hey, we're going to the SEC. I was like, yeah, good luck trying that. Good luck trying to penalize that in the SEC.
That's right.
It's a more physical league, man. I think it's going to take them a little while to adjust that first. Both programs. I think the SEC, Big 12 is definitely legit. We're probably 1A, 1B, to be honest with you. But I think we're way more physical league, and I think they can find out real fast.
Now, for our fans, so I was talking about A&M being pissed. How mad are you going to be? Because this is not done with adding 2 teams. How mad will Gator fans be when Clemson and FSU come on over?
I don't think they bring FSU.
So this is my thing, Nick. I
don't think they need any more to Florida market. Go ahead, Dan.
I don't know. I can see potentially Clemson. I guess when I think of the SEC, I think outside of just athletic directors. Texas and Oklahoma, I feel like are a package. Obviously, they bring a lot from an athletics perspective, but Texas, an incredible school, worldwide brand recognition. Them and Oklahoma are very much a pair. I don't know if Florida State brings that. I don't know if Clemson really brings that. I don't know if Virginia Tech really brings that. I start to think, if they were to expand, where else would they go? And I can see them trying to pack, go maybe a little bit into the Big Ten, a little bit, maybe getting a school, maybe not at Ohio State, but like, in Iowa, that has good, you look at a school like a Michigan, you look at a school like a Purdue, you start to look at schools that beyond just sports, they bring something else, right? I think the academic piece is something that we're missing here. And I don't know if FSU brings that piece to it, right? Missouri, Texas A&M, both
be
good
great.
schools, good athletic departments. Texas, Oklahoma, both pretty good schools. Texas especially, good athletic departments. I think that there's going to be a mix there more than just are they good schools.
Well, what will be hilarious is Florida State is like a 2-win team in this conference right now.
Right now, oh, without a doubt.
So that's what would be great about adding them. Because we're going to beat the snot out of them every year, and they're like a 2-win program right now in this conference.
So
they're probably like a 4-win team in the ACC.
I read something by Jay Billis today. It was a tweet. I don't think there was an article associated with it. But he said to potentially look out, or that he would look out for something like an ACC-SEC merger, which would make not only a super conference, but also a group of schools that could really – leave the NCAA and do their own thing from a college football perspective.
That would be it. Like, I mean, there's no Big 12 without Oklahoma and Texas. Like, you don't have anything like to stand on with the Big 12. So if you grab the whole ACC, like what other discussion they can have? It's a wrap.
I just think the best part about that would be that Miami joined in 2001, and everybody, they put them in separate conferences because they're like, it's going to be Florida State versus Miami every year. It's going to be this huge clash. The SEC is going to absolve the ACC. Miami's never going to win a conference title in the ACC or in the new SEC, and it's just going to be beautiful.
Killing their history a little bit, right?
They're people that are alive now are going to have like great grandchildren and like 2130 talking about 5 rings from the 1980s.
In conferences they never won, like.
Remember back in the Big East? No, sure don't. Sure don't remember that.
I only know one brand of football, and that's SEC. So no, I think that's huge. For the SEC, I don't think it stops here. But I mean, this is the biggest news in conference realignment history. This is bigger than Texas A&M and Missouri. This is bigger than Nebraska leaving and going over to the Big Ten. This is bigger than anything that you saw with the Pac-12. So. I'll be curious to see what happens to the Big 12, what happens to those schools, where they go. But they just lost out on a bunch of money.
Man. The SEC is going to be making as much money as the NCAA. You're talking about like the SEC absorbing like the ACC. They're going to just absorb the NCAA. Like, yo, we got this. We're fine. We don't need you.
If you're the Big 10, don't you try to like holler at the Big 12 like on like a merger or something though?
No, because you don't want that trash. You're like calling some other help. You're calling some other schools to be like, hey, we want to cherry pick, like the SEC's doing. We want to cherry pick. Like you're calling the ACC and being like, hey, Clemson, do you want to be part of the Big Ten? You're calling and finding other teams.
But they don't have that, right? I mean, you have to have a draw too, right? I mean, that's the thing is like you can live out your contract, and yes, in the short term, you can make money, and it's just no slight to any of those schools, but bringing in like a Marshall, a USF, a UCF, like that doesn't replace all of that lost money. And then all of a sudden you just have a product that's not nearly as good. And then when those rights get, up for renewal, all of a sudden that $100 million contract or whatever you now had is now $35 million. Then you're like, oh shoot, what do we do now?
No, I think he was talking more so like Big Ten trying to holler at like different programs around the country, like ones that like cherry picking. Like going maybe to the Pac-12, grabbing like 2 of their programs, maybe Oregon or something like that. Like just cherry picking a few good ones to make their super conference as well.
Right, like what? Like if the Big 12 goes and absorbs, the what do they call it? Or if the Big 10 goes and absorbs the Big 12, like what are you getting? You're getting Texas Tech, TCU, Baylor.
That's money, bro. You say like ain't shit, but it's something. You need if there's one super, it can't be one super conference, right? There has to be something else like to rival it. Like all the other programs can't just stay in the Big Ten. Something has to happen. If there's one super conference, there has to be those other schools are going to do something too.
You have to have a Big 12, Big 10, Pac-12 merger, in my opinion, to compete.
Right.
For eyeballs, for everything else. I mean, the SEC has been the top conference for 15 years.
Yeah, it ain't going to change.
It's not going to change.
We've been calling it NFL Junior for how long, man? And that's what it's about to be in a minute, because it's about to be big dog, king.
This is like the Ryder Cup. It's the USA versus the world. It's about to be like the SEC versus literally everyone else. Everyone else is just trying to get as many good teams in as they can to compete.
And And I'm here for it. I'm here to watch FSU look out and, like that little kid looking out the window crying as their family's going out on vacation. And,
all this is great for business.
I love it. I'm here for it all. So Nick, you brought up the pod idea, splitting up into 4 pods instead of 2 divisions. You're going to have 16 teams in the SEC, 4 teams. You have some way to organize that, that teams will play each other, every couple of years, probably similar to the way that the NFL does, their roster rotation. Are you a fan of pods, 4 teams, 4 different divisions? Are you a fan of the East and West as they have them now and just having 8 teams in each, or what are y'all's thoughts, or just having one big group of 16?
Well, I was just making like a case last week to play like 9 conference games so that you can play these like rival schools or play teams from the West more often. So if you're going to stick East and West, I mean, shoot, that means Alabama with the way that it's expanding out west. That means Alabama's now in the East. And I don't think you want that. I like the pods. So if you're doing 4 pods, because you got 16 teams, four pods of 4. If you play your pod, that's only 3 games. That way you can get 5 other games from other schools. And now you're getting, a more diversified portfolio of teams. I saw somebody bring up, well, do it like the NFL where you're playing your pod home and away every year. That'd be exciting. Like every year you're traveling up to Tennessee and they return the favor. But then now that's 6 games. You only get 2 against, the other 12 teams a year. And then you're probably in the same situation. So I'll be
honest with you. I don't want to do that. That sounds like a dumb idea.
Twice a year.
That sounds like a dumb idea.
So I like the pod but then how are you seeding that? And then is it just the 2 best teams? Because you can't have then an SEC playoff to get to Atlanta. Because you could. They're making their own rules now.
That's right.
This is SEC-opoly. They're making their own rules, their own board games.
If you have a pod that plays home and away, I know Alabama's going to be in there with like Arkansas, Vanderbilt, and Tennessee. I just know that that's the way it's going to shake out,
Why would that happen?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably the same reason Georgia hasn't played Alabama in like a decade. But
they played them last year.
Or whatever. Before that, it was like a decade. You know what I'm getting at. Just let me live, Nick. All right.
Capping and caping.
Yeah, capping and caping.
Capping and caping, man.
All right. Let's so Nick, when you were on last show, you had your T-Mobile internet live from Birmingham. So we were able to hear Dan Mullen over the next couple days. We heard the rest of the SEC coaches. We heard Eli Drinkwitz. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Eli Drinkwitz, if you're not aware, looks like he's a regional accountant for one of those small, like little accounting firms. Looks like the guy from Office Space. Yeah, it's very familiar. He called Dan Mullen a complainer. He said that he's hoping for snow when the Gators visit Missouri on November 20th. He said Dan is going to complain about everything anyway. You guys think that Dan Mullen is a complainer?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
For sure. Okay. For sure. 100%.
What do you guys think of that quote? He criticized him earlier for not knowing the name of the star.
Complaining about a complainer is just like there's too much like irony in that. You know what I'm saying? Complaining about a complainer. But yeah, Dan Mullen does complain a lot. And I'm with it. I don't care. Somebody gotta get sassy. Somebody got like the squeaky tire. What's the
squeaky wheel?
The squeaky wheel. That's saying
grease. Yeah.
Right. It gets the grease. So shout out to the grease and the wheel.
Well, as somebody who will be in Columbia, Missouri on November 20th, I will also be complaining about snow. I mean,
I can assure you, as somebody that lived in Iowa for 2 years, there's no way that it's going to snow in Missouri on November 20th. It will be cold. It will be miserable. It could rain. It's definitely not going to snow.
Looking forward to that frozen rain 11 a.m. kickoff from Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah, at their stadium right off the highway there.
Yeah.
Sunken into the ground. All right, so with that.
We do a lot of away games. That's one I would never do. I don't know why, but
I'll tell you right now.
South Carolina is bad too, right?
I've been to every.
South Carolina's fun. It is?
Mm-hmm. I was about to get behind the lectern right here, get up on my pedestal. I've been to every SEC town except for Athens and Auburn. Mm-hmm. You can skip both Columbias. Just skip them. No need to make it. In even years, that's the Columbia years. No point in going to either one of them.
I disagree. I had a fine time over at the 5 Points area. I'm not sure what it's like. It's been about 11 years since I've been there, 12 years. I had a great time over at 5 Points. Actually, that's where the story of me almost getting arrested for jumping on a moving train came from.
I don't know if I want to go there.
I will say having a train go through the middle of your like tailgating area is like an odd placement, but I had a good time in South Carolina. It's the capital there, South Carolina. So there's like some restaurants and bars. I will say though that Columbia, Missouri is probably the worst town besides Starkville in the SEC.
It's bad.
Starkville is probably the worst.
You didn't sell me on South Carolina at all. I'll be honest with you.
There's nothing to sell.
I mean, there's better places to go. Don't get me wrong, but
you said a train went through. You almost went to jail. Like,
well, I was. Well,
young. Now actually, if you know somebody that the train it's not moving on game day, but people buy them or rent them for a year and they trick these things out. Like that's the place to tailgate if you're stuck in Columbia, South Carolina.
The train definitely moves on game day. That's what I was
Not the train that's right by the stadium.
That was the one that goes.
Listen,
like
Dan, if you got arrested while drinking in 5 Points, I think me on a work day sober might know that the train's not moving. Maybe the train was moving after some of those zipper heads.
Oh, here we go.
But it wasn't moving.
All right. Nick, are you done? All right.
No,
so
I don't
5
know.
Points was the Friday night event. Saturday, we're at the tailgate. There's a train that moves down very slowly, about 1.5 miles per hour. Anybody that's listening to the podcast that's been to a Columbia, South Carolina, football game will tell you that train moves very slowly through town. I maybe had one beer, maybe two, a moving train. I wanted to get a picture of it like I was fleeing town, like they did like in the 20s. And a cop came up to me.
Nobody
He's like,
ever has
maybe
maybe one beer though.
Yeah.
Nobody has maybe one beer though.
No, my parents listen to the show, so I had one, maybe 2 beers. Definitely Mick Ultra. So moved on the train. So Nick, I know when I was there, we'll keep the show moving. Nick, I'll send you some pictures. I gotta find my Facebook. So anyway, Florida by you, Nick, and the rest of the writers, was picked second in the SEC East. They received 7 first-place votes. Georgia,
who tried us like that,
received 124 first-place votes. Kentucky received 2, and South Carolina received 1.
Who gave South Carolina 1? That's who needs to be fired.
That's what I want to know. I think that same person must have given Arkansas the SEC West
Dan,
vote.
Do you know how many people have to die for South Carolina to win the SEC? People
Nick,
a lot of people
you know who
die.
they invite to this kind of stuff,
Like people gotta die.
6 other teams in the East have to
whole teams, like for real.
I went into media days knowing that I was going to vote Florida to win the East and then lose to Alabama. And quickly from talking to people there, I realized that I was on a very small boat, almost by myself in that thought process.
You jumped off it?
No, I've done this so often. I always screenshot. So we do our voting online. And I always screenshot it because once you submit it, like you can't see it anymore.
Right.
I didn't screenshot this year, but I told I think me and Zach were talking about it when we were up in Birmingham. We are like, I think we were both going to vote Florida to win the East. I think when you start looking at it though, like Florida's catching an L against Alabama. So when I just ran through Georgia's schedule before that, you have to find
an L to Alabama. All right, I'll allow it right now. But we'll change that later.
We've still got like 8 weeks, 6 weeks till kickoff, so you've got time to change that.
For sure.
Georgia, I just don't see like losses on Georgia's schedule. Like Arkansas is bad. At Auburn might be a tough game because you're on the road, but I'm not a Bo Nix believer either. So like if Florida loses to Bama, they have to beat Georgia. If you lose to Georgia, then you're trying to find another L on Georgia's schedule. Like Florida can't lose 2 SEC games and have one of them beat Georgia because I don't see 2 SEC losses for Georgia. So I think that's what a lot of the reporters who are making it were looking at.
I think Georgia's gonna be buns, man. I think they got a lot of talent, but I don't think they're gonna get no. I don't want to get into my Georgia take. I'm gonna save that. But we're winning in the East. We're gonna bust their head again. And I'm gonna have my Bama lies together in a couple weeks.
Jaden Hill.
Writing some stuff.
In Silk's word, Jaden Hill is holding it down. So
I didn't say anything. I said if he can hold down his side of the field, I think we go undefeated.
But you have the Gators beating Alabama and Georgia, so.
If he holds down his side,
I got you. Okay.
Obviously,
that's not a real take. I want people to think.
That's what we in the business like to call covering your ass.
Yeah, that's right.
If he does that.
I mean, we're to the far extreme of that take, but I do think he's gonna catch a lot of passes his way naturally, bro. Whenever you playing on the side of a future first round draft pick, you're gonna catch a lot of heat, man. I think he could show up, but we got a secondary to be able to hold things down. They're gonna figure it out. We got the talent back there to do what we gotta do.
Obviously, going to the other side of the bracket, Alabama was picked with 130 first-place votes. No other program received one. I know LSU got one. Auburn got one. Arkansas got a vote. I think there was another team that got a vote. But obviously, the odds-on favorite is Alabama. And then 84 folks picked Alabama to win the SEC. Georgia received 45. Florida was one of 5 programs to receive a single vote. Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Kentucky, and South Carolina were also picked to win the SEC. So some wild takes out there with Ole Miss, Kentucky, and South Carolina. But
that's got to be the same guy.
Bro, Graham Hall went crazy. He went crazy on his back.
Dave Waters says South Carolina versus Arkansas in the SEC West. I'm just kidding, Dave. We love you, bud. Let's get off to a quick Roof Soldier ad read. Let's give a shout out to them. If you are in the market for a new roof, maybe your insurance company's asking to get a new one, give a shout to our friends over at Roof Soldier, 1-877-ROOFS-FL, or visit them at roofsoldier.com. Mention Stadium and Gale, you'll get $1,000 off. Really excited to continue to work with these guys. We're going to be doing some fun NIL stuff as well. So again, roofsoldier.com, 1-877-ROOFS-FL. At SEC Media Days, 4 Florida Gators were selected to all SEC teams. Zach Carter and Kyer Elam to the first team, Ventrell Miller to the second team, and Jacob Copeland to the third team. You guys surprised by any of those names? Or are any names missing in your opinion?
No, I think we're good, man. I don't think we're missing anybody. What do you feel?
It's weird because I don't think any of the names are wrong or misplaced, but then you're like, man, as bad as the defense was, 3 of the 4 are on that side of the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know if anybody was missed. I'm surprised. I was surprised Bo Nix was named to the third team. Maybe Brenton Cox. Alec just posted that in our chat. Maybe Brenton Cox on there. I know he's coming off of a foot injury. Kind of surprised him. I would have potentially thought, maybe a Gators running back maybe sniffs that. I'm not sure which one. Maybe that's why. I was a little surprised, I'll be honest with you. Not that I don't think that he has the talent to do it, but just by writers and everybody else that Jacob Copeland made the list. That's the biggest kind of name that stuck out to me. Again, I think that he's a guy that can perform well, but I don't think he's done enough to really warrant some of the hype that he is getting. And so I was a little surprised to see Jacob Copeland on there. Nick?
No, I think Copeland, like a lot of these players get like hyped up from their 5-star status and like their reputation of, and he got the number 1 jersey, so it's a little hype behind him.
Yeah.
So I can see how they kind of threw him in there. Alec, our TikTok guy, just threw Brenton Cox's name in there, and I'm surprised he didn't get on any list. That is a name that a lot of people are hyped up on. He got some first-round potential. So I am a little surprised I didn't see him on any list, but I get Copeland. He got a number 1 on. Dan hasn't missed on number 1 yet.
Trey Dean is another guy that could potentially have been close. But
right.
Nick, when you go, talk to us a little bit about the process. I mean, when you're filling out your list, are you guys usually doing them together? Is it a lot of your own research? Is it a lot of people that tell us a little bit about Media Days. And most people know the landscape of the SEC, or a lot of them just going with names that they pick. Give us a little, how the sausage is made, if you will.
Yeah. So, usually a link, and it takes you to a page, and there's like every player is there. Like I could have voted, Gene DeLance to first team All SEC.
No.
Everyone's on there. I can only speak for myself, and you try to do as much knowing, at least for me, I try to do as much research as I can, because I don't know Texas A&M's roster the way I know Florida's. I don't know Arkansas's roster, but there might be guys worthy of, of being on that list. I just don't know who they are. So some people who are filling it out might just, only go by the players they know. I can't speak for how much research people are doing. But it doesn't feel so. Like the first time I did it, like once you're done, you're like, because the first time I went to SC Media Day, I was like, oh man, this is so cool. Like I'm part of this selection process that is, going to go on somebody's bio. Hey, they were first team all SEC. And then when you finish it, and I'm sitting in like a hotel room on the bed with the computer in my lap, I'm like, well, that didn't feel prestigious. Like that felt, like weird. So I don't know. I don't know how many. I think what Silk said, a lot of them are just picked. Like, I don't think Bo Nix is the third best quarterback in the SEC. I don't think that's even close, but he's a name. He's going into his third year as a starter.
Yeah, but he's trash,
But it's just a name that people know. So as you're going through, somebody from, that covers, let's say, Missouri might know a little bit about Emory Jones, but they haven't seen him as much as they see Bo Nix. So when it gets down to that third one, you just click the name that you know, and you're thinking in your mind, oh, it's a third team anyway. It doesn't matter. To the kids, it probably matters. To the schools, it matters. So you kind of deal with that kind of stuff. I try to do as much research. Phil Steele's magazine is a big resource for me that I go through, because I think he puts a ton of time into his team previews, and just trying to make as educated a selection as I can. Because I think, if I were the player, I would like, whoever's picking the team to not just go in there and be like, well, I cover Georgia, so where are all the Georgia players? And they're all on the first team, So I try to do as much research as I can, but there's definitely players there are people that slip through the cracks.
I just hope the players listen to this show and know, like, not to give a shit about what y'all be voting for once they realize how, like, much thought goes into it. Mm-hmm. Some of these players get offended by some of y'all votes.
It might be no thought,
right? At all. That's what it seems like. I met a lot of y'all writers, and I just know y'all don't think a lot.
Think a lot or alike?
Y'all don't put a lot of thought into like these votes and things like this. I don't think y'all really care.
Sometimes it's like, hey, the vote's due by Thursday morning at 10 a.m. And then, you go out Wednesday night, you're drinking, you close the bar down, you wake up at 9, you're like, oh, man, head's pounding, got to get this vote in. Let's just go real quick, 5 minutes.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't lose no sleep, kids, man. These guys just checking off boxes, man.
Nick, did you release your preseason?
No, that's what I said. I've been doing this long enough. I always screenshot it before I submit. I forgot to screenshot it this year. I was trying to get out of Birmingham as quick as possible this year.
Sorry, I was trying to pull up an article. Saturday Down South interviewed Jawan Sider, so I was trying to pull that up. So my apologies for not paying attention.
No, it's all good.
Did you have anybody else on your list?
I think I had Brenton Cox on my third, and I think I might have. No, I didn't put Emory. No, I did put Emory Jones as my third team quarterback. Just because
you went full silk out there in Birmingham. I like it.
I'm not a big Bo Nix fan, and I'm not a big JT Daniels fan. I think I had Bryce Young at 2. I can't even remember it. But I don't think I had anyone else from Florida. I'm trying to think. I think I had Zach Carter, second team. I had Ventrell, and I had Kyer first team.
5-6-1, baby. I like it.
I thought about Trey Dean, but I don't think I've seen him enough at safety yet to put him on there.
Trey Dean about the hoop, though, man. I like the way he looked in that Bama game. He was looking good down the stretch, man. I think Trey Dean about the hoop.
And Trey Dean's mind on Twitter, he put today that he's the best safety in college football.
Let's go, man. I like it.
I like that. That's
I'm ready to lie with him. Right? I'm ready to lie with him. I might call him the best safety in college football. Just give me a couple weeks.
Warm up to it.
I don't doubt that.
You just wait.
Oh, man. All right, let's get into a little bit about recruiting. We'll get into Friday Night Lights here in a second. In other news, Adam Vinatieri's son, a kicker, was offered a preferred walk-on spot today, so potentially look out for that. Florida already grabbed their kicker a couple of weeks ago out of Virginia, but AJ Vinatieri, a guy I wouldn't mind having on the roster, son of an NFL legend, maybe the best kicker in NFL history. Always good when you get get kids of NFL players, and especially if you don't have to give them a scholarship, obviously financially, I'm sure that the Vinatieri family can support him as well if that's a direction that they go. Mac Markway, pardon me, the 2023 tight end, the 4-star. I think he's the number one target the Gators are after in that 2023 class at tight end. Rivals 100 guy is going to announce tomorrow, which is Tuesday, July 27th. So the day that you're listening at 4:30. All signs point to him committing to the University of Florida, which would be a great get for that 2023 class.
Absolutely.
Solid, talented kid, high points the ball, good blocker, good speed, really impressive young man out of St. Louis, Missouri. So that would be a good get for the Florida Gators. With that being said, on Friday,
we better not miss, Dan.
I know all of those people.
Hey, bro, I know you're listening. We better not miss, bro.
I've got some thoughts on recruiting, and I want to get those off here in a second.
I don't want to do no more thought. I've given all my thoughts on recruiting, man. This staff just can't. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna wait till like signing day. I don't want to be like bitching and moaning about recruiting right now, man. But they just can't. They need to close like earlier. They let things linger too much. Like, I just want to like not let like these kids set far out dates. Like it's like they're high on us. We chill. We let things linger a little bit. We cool with just leading a little bit instead of going for the close. These other staffs get like visits after that our visit high. We need to close during our visit highs. Period.
I would agree with that. I would need to know a little bit more about kind of their strategy and everything else to know a little bit more about our recruiting. You know, certainly Florida's recruiting is not strong right now. I think that obviously Florida's going to finish a lot better than 37th where they're ranked right now. But I do wonder why this time every year there's a meltdown. Right. And it's by the same people. And some of them are really good friends of mine. I was texting with one of them today, actually. But there's a meltdown every year as if to expect something different. And I don't know if it's because that's just the way that we are programmed as humans and everything else. But I don't think that Florida, the way that the staff
I don't know about a meltdown, though. I don't know. Like some of these misses, like they've been telegraphed for a little minute now, so I wouldn't call it a meltdown. I still think their board is fine. I think they're missing on some of their top guys to like Bama and some of those programs like that. I'm not in like meltdown mode. I'm just saying like we need to close on some of these top kids, and we need to find a way. It's NIL season. If Bama's figuring out a way to make NIL work, how is the University of Florida gonna figure out a way to make NIL work for us? That's where it's coming down. We got to make this work somewhere in recruiting. Like, it ain't talking about bags and it's getting weird anymore, right? Now this is just regular business. I think NIL, all that stuff has got to play a part in our recruiting now. We know we don't have a staff that's going to recruit.
But Alabama has NIL rules. Texas does. You know, a lot of these states, Georgia, you know, a lot of the schools that have NIL too are, you know, dealing with the same thing. It's not like Florida's losing kids to states that don't have NIL legislation.
No, my point is, like you see the business, you see the deals that Bama kids are getting. I think eventually the NIL money, from our standpoint, like we can sit here and like criticize Dan all we want. He is who he is recruiting. He's not gonna change. Like only way Heavy C's gonna leave is if he retires or something. I don't think he's gonna fire him. You know what I'm saying? So like, what are we gonna do? Like somebody's gonna have to pick up the slack in NIL. The business is going to have to change. These kids are going to have to make business decisions to come to the University of Florida. And I think it's going to have to come from the NIL side. I don't think Dan Mullen's going to change the recruiting. And I think
I can see that point in the future, sure.
If Bama already got better facilities, already got a better staff, everything's already established, and they're paying more money with NIL deals, like how are we going to keep up?
You're not. Not right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would freak out.
I thought the gap would get closer with NIL, but if we're not competing in NIL, that gap gets wider.
We're only 25 days into it, right? I mean, I think that there's still a lot. I mean, we talk about it a lot on this show, that there's still a lot to figure out, right? I mean, we have players like literally in our DMs right now, like begging and pleading for us to work with them. And we're like, hey, we just want to kind of see where some things go first. 100%. And I think that that's probably what we're still dealing with. I think my biggest thing is like, we're still 5 months away from signing day. There's still a lot of visits to happen. I think that there's going to be some things that pop off this weekend. I think that there's a lot of stuff that's in the works. You know, Florida is not really missing on the big targets that have been projected to be in this class yet. I mean, Sean Murphy goes to Alabama. I mean, that was kind of, you know, telegraphed for the last couple of weeks that it was going to go that way. You know,
we land at one point. That's what frustrates the fans is we lead with these guys at some point. Like there's some buzz, few little crystal balls or forecasts, weird things happen. There's a lot of buzz after these visits. And then it's just we end up missing to Alabama or like whoever else we're competing with. So I think that's the thing. Like it's telegraphed for a few weeks now. We all kind of knew it, so there's no meltdown. But we got to figure out a way to close when we have these visit highs. I think we're too lax.
I think part of the fan base meltdown that Dan's talking about is just the time of the year. Because like Dan is even saying that it's always at this time. There's nothing else going on. So all eyes are on recruiting. Like camp hasn't started yet. You're kind of gearing up towards football season, but all the other sports are done. So it's only about recruiting. And it's hard for me. I want to say, like, don't get upset. You should have expected this. But then you get the argument back. Well, why, as a fan of the University of Florida, why do I have to expect always finishing with a bronze medal in recruiting? That means nothing. So unless you're winning gold in recruiting, you're not getting it.
All right, I'm gonna do this tape, but we're spending we're spending bronze level effort in recruiting, money wise, like resources wise. I don't think we're putting in gold medal resources into recruiting.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying that recruiting can't get a lot better. That's not my take at all. I think to me, it
can get a lot better.
I think my take is why are we letting ourselves get to this point where every year we let ourselves down, and it's just like this, like a drag on the internet of how bad everything is, when in reality, I don't think it's that bad. I think there's a lot still to come, and it's just every year you just kind of hear, you know, the same like pitchforks and torches. Like, I promise you right now, nobody on the staff is getting fired. And nobody's getting hired. Not a lot's going to change. So I just think it's interesting this time of year that we have this giant meltdown. And I think this year, compared to others, there's still Florida's biggest targets available. There's still a lot of opportunity for Florida to win, even more so than last year or the year before. I just thought it was an interesting, you know, time of year that again we're melting down.
I mean, overall, as a Florida fan, right? Like, our best recruiting years were only with Urban. Like, traditionally, we have never been an elite recruiting program. I don't know what like this. I guess some people are new Gator fans, but I was a Spurrier guy. Like, there were no top 5 classes. That wasn't a thing. He was an X&O guys. He got his guys. He competed and got some of the best kids in Florida, but he wasn't an elite recruiter. Damn.
Yeah, I would agree.
Urban Meyer was the only.
Jim McElwain had that one class before he lost it all, right? You know, with Ladston and, you know, Stevenson and, you know, Jamar Chase and Matt Corral and the rest of them. You know, Will Muschamp had some good defensive stats, but you're right. Florida's not had the recruiting like wins like I think a lot of people think. Just like I don't think that Florida's history in football is like as rich as people think either. Right.
Hey.
Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I love
Florida.
I grew up a fan, went to school there, everything else. But I think that there needs some expectation tempering there, especially with this staff, right? I mean, you don't have – I think you just have some different priorities.
I think traditionally we haven't done like – because our requirements and our prestigious aura, like everybody just can't get in here. So – I don't think we ever wanted to be the top dog in football recruiting. I think if Florida wanted to be the top dog in recruiting, we'd be that. That's a real take of mine. Like I think there's like a little bit more prestige. Everybody can't get in here. It's a little bit different, man.
So Nick asked me to talk about.
Urban Meyer was an exception to the rule.
So this is where my take comes in. So Florida's academic standards, I don't think hinder many people, if any, that go to like similar schools. Where
that can't be true. Like even when check this out real quick.
But I think some of it comes down to some more character things. I think that there's other things beyond just academics that we blame academics. I think that there's some other things that go into that full profile, because a lot of people are like, why does Florida act like they're Stanford in academics? I'm like, newsflash, they don't, right?
A little bougie.
But they're not, right? If a kid's going to Auburn, if a kid's going to Georgia, kid's going to Tennessee, Alabama, like he had the grades to get into Florida, right? Like there's some other kids that maybe end up at like a smaller school, and I don't want to put anybody down. No, see, there's probably some schools out there, a couple schools in West Virginia, for instance, that like if a kid can't meet some of those academic requirements that Florida and the SEC want, then they have other options that are in Power 5 football. But I think that there's some character things that UF over the last 15 years has really focused, and I think that that's where you get some differentiation.
Real quick, like the Eric Gilbert kid, right? When he first said he announced Florida, right? Mm-hmm. The very first thing that hit message boards and rumors was they don't know if this kid can get in the UF.
But transferring is different and different than getting in.
But regardless, he's at Georgia right now with no issues. But there was a little gray area about it was like a for sure thing. If he left LSU, he didn't have the grades to get in any other school. And this happens with a lot of you. Like you have transfers, JUCO kids coming out of high school. There's this little mystique about kids that maybe can't get in, then they get in elsewhere. And we're like, we thought this kid had grade issues. How did he get in there?
Well, I would say some of that is conjecture. We don't really know, right? Like we don't know what the kid's actual academic concerns were. There's some character concerns with Eric Gilbert too. Nick said it, there's some transfer requirements that UF has just as a school, the same way Georgia has them, Tennessee has them, Alabama has them. So I think that there's some other things, there's some more nuance to it than just Florida acts like they're, this prestigious academic school.
I like it a little bit. Sometimes you gotta like look down your nose at people every now and then, not all the time, but sometimes you gotta be like, yo, I'm a little better than you.
No, as an academic school, we are, right? I mean, we are second to none outside of Vanderbilt, right?
I don't cheer for books, but I'm not mad at you for not cheering.
I don't cheer for books.
As somebody that has a degree hanging on the wall, I'm all down for them being as big.
No, I like the books, but I'm just saying I didn't become a fan of UF because of the books. You know what I'm saying? I came along, you guys graduated and whatnot, not me.
I gotcha.
Shout out to the books, though.
Shout out to the books.
You're not a UF debate team in the audience, a debate team tournament, just cheering for him?
No, I'll let the kids change that, though. Kids will change that.
All right.
I live vicariously through them one day.
Let's get into Friday Night Lights. So, again, that's going to be on Friday. We have a running list here provided by our friend Connor Clark. So I'm just going to run through this right now. 2022 athlete, Azariah Thomas. 2022 defensive tackle, Walter Nolan is 50-50. This is a big one here. 2022 wide receiver, Evan Stewart. 2022 quarterback and commit, Nick Evers. 2022 Rivals 100 DB commit, Julian Humphrey. He'll be here for a few days. 2022 linebacker commit, Shamar James. 2022 wide receiver commit, CJ Smith. 2022 tight end commit, CJ Hawkins. 2022 running back, Jalen Glover. I think that's a guy to keep your eye out for, potentially on commit watch. 2022 running back Terrence Gibbs is visiting. 2022 Leighton Nelson, offensive tackle. I think that might be a guy to keep your eyes out for too. 2022 offensive tackle Jacob Hood. 2022 offensive lineman David Connor. 2022 EJ Lightsley, linebacker. 2023 Rivals 100 defensive lineman John Walker, and then 2023 Rivals 100 Kelby, missing the last name there. So a big list overall, a lot of big names. Silk, you were talking about a couple potential commitments. You see a guy named Glover, you see a guy like Gibbs, you see a guy like Nelson, you see Evan Stewart on there. What are you thinking for commits this weekend?
I think all those guys are potentials. I put Azariah Thomas on that list as well. I think all those guys are potential guys that could pop. I don't have any crazy info about who may pop. I haven't been on the recruiting hunt like that's been birthday week. But all those guys have been guys I've been hearing in like the last past couple months that they're like ready to go. So we'll see what's up. You pulling up?
I will not be there. No, sir. No, sir. Are you gonna be there? Are you Brain Jr.?
I'm not going solo. So if you guys could, if one of you guys will show, I show. But I don't know, man. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna be honest. I'm tired.
Nick will be there.
Well, I live here, so I'm always here. But we got. I don't. My presence isn't being requested because Corey will be up, Connor will be there, and our other intern Donovan will be there. But I can slide through. See Junior. Tell him to stop throwing the ball so much. He needs to run more.
We need to get Donovan on the show.
He needs to run more. You don't throw the ball at all.
I know. I'm trying to even make that ratio even bigger.
He throw like 2 times a game. You don't. Nobody get a pass.
Those are rookie numbers. We got to cut that in half. 1 time a game, and only if the pass rush is getting there, and just chuck it.
He just needs to play DB.
That's it.
There you go.
Make him a long snapper. That's you talk about a 14-year NFL career. Make good money.
I don't think he's humble enough to play a position like that. Man.
He's not humble enough.
Not at all.
So I've got moving off of recruiting just for a second, going back to a segment we talked about. There's a tweet going around right now from BuckeyesScoop.com that says Oregon, UCLA, USC, and Colorado all might be interested in joining the Big Ten. So I think we nailed a couple of those teams. So
that's still weak, though.
No, I don't doubt that, but
that's mid.
Very mid. Very, very, very mid.
I don't want to see none of that. Like. Okay, very good.
All right, boys, let's get into our buy or sell segment. And for the foreseeable future, this is sponsored by our friends over at Prize Picks. So again, a new sponsor for us. You can visit them at prizepicks.com, Prize picks.com. Use the promo code SG. You'll get 100% instant deposit match up to $100 if you put that in there. We are going to be doing parlays. We're going to be doing over-unders. We're going to be doing a lot when it comes to prizepicks.com, when it comes to the football season. So check them out, prizepicks.com, promo code SG, and you will get 100% instant deposit match. Or just sign up. You'll get email notifications, things of that nature. They've got college football, NBA, NHL, all sports that you can consider or think of. So, again, prizepicks.com, promo code SG. All right, boys, buy or sell. 12 interceptions for the Florida Gators this season.
Buy or sell, what? 12?
12 plus interceptions.
I got to sell it.
Man, are you running out of money?
No, I just gotta sell it.
The last 2 weeks, you've sold some stuff.
12 is a lot. I don't know if we ball hungry like that. I don't know if we greedy like that right now. I gotta see my safeties fly around, and I don't know if we got guys jumping routes. I haven't seen that from my secondary, so I gotta sell it right now. I gotta keep it a buck. I'm a DB guy. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen no. You know what I'm saying? No greedy guys back there yet. So
last year was the first year that Florida didn't hit 12 and less games last year. I'm trying to even go back farther. Shoot, 12. I'm buying 12 picks. Last time Florida didn't have 12 was in 2013. That year was a disaster all around. So I'm gonna buy it.
We just always usually have a greedy secondary. We always have a pick happy guy. We don't have a pick happy guy. I've been following Florida for a long time. We always have just a guy that's just like a robber that could just. I haven't seen it yet. I'm
going to buy. I think that the Gators are going to have some surprises in Trey Dean. Obviously, Jaden Hill is going to have a breakout year. I think that you're going to see Kamar Wilcoxon, Torrance, the rest of them. I think that there's a lot of talent back there. I think teams are going to try to throw the ball. I think the Gators are pretty stout on the defensive line, which is probably their strength if I were to think of one. And then Ventrell Miller is a guy that's a pretty good pass rusher. So I think the teams are going to have to force the pass quite a bit because I think that they're going to struggle to run. So I think that they're going to throw in, to have 12 interceptions in a season is a little bit less than one if the Gators make, a bowl game. So I'm going to buy. I think especially when you add teams like FAU and USF, which is going to throw the ball a lot, and Samford, FSU. I mean, just teams that are going to, play from behind. They start to throw the ball. So I like the Gators to get 17 interceptions this year. That's my buy. All right, buy or sell. I think we already did this one, but I think we did it just for Zach Carter. So last season, the Gators had 35 sacks. The season before that was the last time that they played a full season. They had 49. Buy or sell, the Gators are going to have more than 40 sacks on the season.
What's the record?
40 is a big number.
No, home. You know I got my cape out, bro.
So
what's
2019, they had 49. 2018,
right.
37. 2017, they were obviously terrible.
Yeah, mark me down for 50.
2016, 31. 50.
50-piece nugget.
Yeah, man. I'm ready to put my cape on a little bit. I think Bogle and Brenton Cox and like I think the combination of like Carter and those guys, I think they could do something, man.
So you buy more than 40.
Yeah, I buy more than 40.
You have Gervon.
But if you're getting sacks at that kind of level, that means you're pressuring the quarterback. Why wouldn't that lead to some more errant passes and more interceptions?
Dexter, Zach Carter.
Like Dan's frozen. That's hilarious.
Dan's frozen, so I hopped in.
I missed it. So you have so I don't know when this got cut out. So you have Gervon, Dexter, Zach Carter, the rest of the gang showing up to Chick-fil-A asking for a 50-piece? Like,
yeah, for sure. Mark me down for like a crazy pass rush. Like for real. I think they go 40 plus for sure.
But a crazy pass rush that's going to give him 50 sacks or however many sacks isn't going to lead to more interceptions with quarterbacks making bad passes.
So just thinks he's going to sack him before they are.
I don't have a greedy. I don't know. Like the number may have been off, but I don't think we have a greedy secondary. That's really my take. I don't think we have a really greedy secondary that's like interception happy. I don't think we have guys that jump routes. I don't think we have any ball hawks at safety that track down passes. I haven't seen that.
All right, Nick. I'm sorry. Did you buy or sell?
Y'all seen it?
I'm gonna buy. I'm not buying those 10 extra nuggets that Silk bought, but I'll go with what was the number? 40. I'll buy 40.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy 40.
Okay.
I'm gonna buy like 41.
Yeah,
go 9 less. Okay, y'all scared. Okay, go 9 less.
9 less. All right, so over under. While I look for this last one, over under the Gators or push, right? 4 players on the postseason All SEC team. Nick?
4 players. Postseason.
So 4 in the preseason.
Which any of the 3 or first team?
So we have 4 on any of the 3, so 4 plus on any of the teams.
Yeah, I'll go over.
Yeah, likewise.
Who's an addition? Who's a subtraction that you think gets added to that list?
I think Emery's an addition to that list.
Okay,
and the 3 that Emery's an addition. Bogle could be an addition. Cox could be an addition. I think Ventrell sticks. Like we said last week. Like when we were talking about over under Ventrell sacks. I'm like, listen, if Ventrell is in the same sub development as a tackle, he's getting half a sack, and I think he might, it's not half a sack, half a tackle. Like he might have 100 tackles by the end of the year.
It's just so hard to tell because some of these guys have a real good season, they still don't make the list because it's still depending on what Bama linebacker does in LSU. Mm-hmm. So these guys can have real good seasons, it's not even matter. So it's just so hard to predict. But yeah, I think we get 4 plus. I think it's gonna be an opportunistic list season. I mean, for like these players. So.
You guys ready for this?
I give us 4 plus. Yeah, what you got?
I got us for 8.
Oh yeah,
I got us for 8. So there's
you trying to outdo me this show?
44, 88, 132. So there's probably like 135, 140 players, like with specialists and everything else in there. Right. I like the Gators for at least 8. I think that you are going to see. I think Jacob Copeland could make that list for sure, but I think that maybe even a guy like one of our running backs, whoever the stable running back is there, whether it's a Damian Peace,
none of them can make the list. I think we share the ball too much for any of them to make the list.
I don't think that they're going to share it as much as as the 5 people. I think that you have a guy that could potentially run away with it. What?
Who you talk to think that?
Just in general, it's just you can lie, I can lie. It's just the nature of Stadium and Gale. I think that potentially a running back. I'm not saying that these are the names, but I can see a guy like Keon Zipperer making the list. I can see a guy like Josh Braun, as a guard.
I see Braun. I can see that.
I definitely see Emory Jones making at least 3rd team. Definitely better than Bo Nix.
I'm a big Braun fan.
I can see Trey Dean making that list. I can see one of the guys making the list as a specialist, as a returner. Don't know who, but I like the Gators for 8. So we've got people that are keeping track of this. So, in January when this list comes out and there's 8, don't be surprised. Be like, Dan told us again. Jaden Hill, for instance, is going to probably make the list.
God, now we got – all right, mark me down for 5. I'm going to chill at 5. Dan's a little bit hype.
Dan's first team All SEC is just Florida's defense.
Yeah, you see it.
Hey, we could have 8 on the third team, Nick.
No
rules. So I've got 8. Silk's got 5. Nick, how many do you have?
Over. I took the over.
No, you have to pick a number.
You got to pick a number at this point.
You have
we all took over.
I'll go 7. Just sit in the middle. Sit in the middle there.
All right, we'll play Price is Right rules.
That's my Price is Right there.
That's what he's doing right there.
If you were smart, Nick, you would have picked 6 if we're playing Price is Right rules. You gave yourself very little margin of error there. So
I think I nailed it. I hit a bullseye there. 7.
All right. Let's – you know what? I'm going to do this because Alec put it in the chat. And we love Alec. He's been put all our stuff over on TikTok and all of our reels on Instagram. And if you don't follow us on either, please go ahead and do that. Alec, our good friend here, says over under Emory Jones, 850 rushing yards.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Give me over. Give me the over.
I'll take the over. He was averaging just last year. He had 217, 6.7, almost 6.8 per carry. I think that he's going to rush the ball over 100 times this year. So I'm taking over.
Give me a stat.
You have him at over 8.5 yards a carry at 100 carries?
No. He's going to get over 100 carries.
Okay.
Over 100 carries.
Put me at a G, baby.
Yeah, I was about to put my cape on and be like, he might be the first Gator quarterback to rush for 1,000.
Oh my God! G, baby. All right, well I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna sell with all of Silk's money too.
What a hater!
I'm gonna hedge. I'm gonna hedge Silk's money.
What a hater!
I'm gonna hedge Silk's money.
Kill the vibes, bro.
I'm gonna say that Emory Jones rushes well, but I think that. I'd be surprised if he gets any more than 600. I'd be very surprised if he gets more than 600.
In which half of the season?
What, Felipe Franks got that in like 2 games, boy.
Silk, I just don't know if
that's factually
correct.
You're absolutely making stats.
So in 2018, Felipe Franks on 110 attempts had 350 yards.
You know what I'm saying?
Running like a gazelle, or like a giraffe. That's what he said he ran like. So I'm gonna sell. I'm absolutely gonna sell Emory Jones. And I was very surprised that Nick, you chose to buy. Silk, not at all surprised you chose to buy.
Why you hating on me? I'm driving the Caravan, man. A stack. Put me at a stack. Mark me down, man.
Oh man. All right, so let's get into a Brunt Insurance ad read.
One time for the great folks at Brunt Insurance and Financial Services, man. My man Greg put up to Bubbles and Bow Ties. Looking ever so dapper. I told him hard bottom was the rules, but he showed up in some nice Nikes that were just so plush. So shout out to my man Greg. His wife pulled up as well. Great couple, man. They enjoyed the fam. If you need anything insured from the Panhandle to the Keys, hit my man Greg up at bruntinsurance.com or give him a call at 954-589-2204. From the Panhandle to the Keys, man. Home, auto, life. Greg, what it do?
What it do?
What it do, baby?
I was talking to Greg a little bit earlier today. He's on vacation right now, but we got a nice little phone call planned for next week. All right, Gator news.
We both had birthdays this week, man. Nice.
Happy birthday, Greg. Happy birthday.
Y'all haven't partied till you party at the Kush House. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I'm excited. I'm excited to party at the Kush House. Gator news of the week. Let's give a shout out to actually Stadium in Gale. Alumni Ciatric Faison, who was just named head coach at his alma mater, Fletcher High School. So congratulations to him. He joins the following Gators that are currently head coaches at Florida high schools. So shout out to Mark Wheeler for starting this, and then the rest of the group that added in. So Ciatric Faison joins Demetric Jack, Wes Green, Cornelius Ingram, Elijah Williams, John Brantley, O.J. Small, Doc Pollard, and Brady Ackerman, who are all head coaches. So it's a great list. So congratulations to Seatric Faison. Kieran Smith, one of the Florida Gators prize swimmers, won the first Gator medal at the 2020 Olympics. That happened in 2021. And the 400 freestyle, he came in third with his personal best time of 3 minutes and 43 seconds and 94 milliseconds, won a bronze medal. So congratulations to Kieran Smith. Not far behind that, Gators female swimmer Natalie Hines won a bronze medal in the 4x100 relay. The women's softball team, which is powered by Aubrey Monroe, Michelle Moultrie, and Kelsey Stewart, is advancing to the gold medal game, which I believe is tomorrow, July 27th, so the day that you're listening to this. And Kelsey Stewart had the game-winning home run when when the United States beat Japan in the bottom of the seventh inning. The United States will play Japan in the gold medal game on Tuesday. So congratulations to those ladies. Kyle Pitts is ranked the highest ranked rookie in Madden. He's an 82 overall. He's the fastest tight end in the game. Are you guys surprised that Kyle Pitts is the highest ranked rookie in Madden?
No, I thought he was the best physical specimen coming out in that draft. Best football player. I thought he was in the entire draft, so I'm not shocked at all.
Yeah, he's in 81. He will be rated higher than 81 by the end of the year.
Oh, for sure.
81 or 82, whatever it was. Yeah, shout out to him. We're in the number 8. What do you guys think about the number 8 on him?
I think it kind of looks goofy, but it's probably just because I'm not used to seeing it in the NFL. And the NFL just changed those rules now. So I think it looks goofy, but I also think it's just number 8 looks different in a bunch of different jerseys depending on the font. And I don't think like those some of those single-digit numbers look good in Atlanta's jersey, the font style.
I'm not a fan of like double digits, but I do think Kyle is the like type of guy I would like to see in a double digit number.
Or number 1, just slap the 1 on him.
Yeah, the 8 does look weird on him a little bit, but
I think it's just the Falcons font that I think looks off.
I'm going to look up some others. Kadarius Toney was ranked the 5th highest for rookie wide receivers. He's a 72 overall. Let me see who else I can find while we're doing this. Gators catcher Wyatt Langford was named to the All-Valley League on Sunday, representing the Charlottesville Tom Sox as a second-team honoree at first base. So congratulations to him. In Summer League Baseball, Josh Rivera, Gators infielder, was also named a 2021 Cape League All-Star. And then, Nick, right as we were starting the show, you announced that one of your favorite Gators baseball players of all time, Kirby Snead, because of your prolific use of the Kirby GIF, was called up to the Blue Jays. So congratulations to him. Is this that time of year, and I could be completely wrong, Nick, where you're allowed to start bringing up more players?
Not yet. That's the last month of the season when they expand the roster size. I think there was some injuries going on, but Kirby. Really interesting. I mean, he when you look at the teams that he was on with like Dane Dunning and Puck and Logan Shore and Brady Singer, all those guys, he wasn't really even talked about other than the GIF game. But he's kind of just put his head down and worked, and he's been in AAA for a while, been pitching really well. So he gets his call up, hopefully not a cup of tea, and hopefully he stays up there for a little while.
Yeah, absolutely. I looked. I think they've only done the first round for the Madden players. I looked up Kyle Trask, looked up a couple of the others. So stay tuned next week or whenever they announce those for when we might see those. Kyle Trask is in practice, so got to see him practice a little bit. Looks good out there wearing the number 2 uniform for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. With that being said, last piece of news and Gator news of the week, the Orlando Pride in the women's professional softball organization have hired former Gators coach Becky Burley as their interim head coach. That was announced just a few days ago. Becky stepped down at the end of last season to focus on some personal things. I know she has some personal development training that she's coaching around the country and a few other things, but she'll be coaching the Orlando Pride through the rest of the season. So congratulations to Becky Burley. And that is your Gators news of the week. Silk, it's everybody's favorite ad read time.
Oh, man.
Come on, buddy. We brought props this week.
You got props. I'm glad it was that package and not another package. I'll tell you that.
You want me to stand up?
You said props. I was scared to look up for a second. For the Manscaped ad read. Shout out to Manscaped and the great folks. The best grooming products you could find anywhere. I walked in Target and I was a little disappointed that they was in Target. I was like, what are they doing? Like, people got to use my coupon code. Get that discount. There's no coupon codes in Target.
Your promo code SG at checkout doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work out at the register at all.
You get some confused looking cashiers.
Yeah. So here's what I encourage people to do. If you go to Target, you can look and take a feel of the product and everything else. Right. Go on to manscaped.com right where you're there. Use promo code SG. It's free shipping. So you're not going to pay for that. Also, you get 20% off, and it comes pretty quickly. So you can.
Disclaimer, though. Real quick disclaimer. You cannot test drive the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 in the dressing rooms, though.
That's correct. Yeah, that's frowned upon, especially in a COVID world. It's frowned upon.
In any world. In any world, that's frowned upon. But we've been talking a lot of balls on this show. If you don't want your dog salty, be sure to hit them balls with some Manscaped ball deodorant. You see what I did there?
I did. That was good.
Oh, okay. I like it. I used some ball deodorant this weekend. Kept me cool, calm, and collected. Bubbles and bow ties was also cool, calm, and collected, man. Lawnmower 4.0 had me right. Weed whacker. I was trim, slim, and looking dapper and dandy. Somebody had to step in for you, Dan.
There's nobody else that I'd want to to dress in a dapper way than you. I got
you. But if you want to be as like trim, and sophisticated as me, you don't want hairy balls, just out here sweating, use that coupon code SG at checkout. Don't go to Target. You can't use that at the cash register. And you can't test drive the Lawnmower 4.0 there either. So use that coupon code, get 20% off free shipping. Coupon code SG, manscaped.com. Yeah.
I love it. All right, boys, it takes us to the end of the show. Nick, you had the song of the week last week, right?
Yeah. Someone called it sus last week. I was just trying to
I think it was
shout out my guy.
What happened?
Someone said my song choice was sus. It's a little suspect.
That's unfortunate, man. The streets don't lie, Dan.
It's true. Nick, one time somebody called my song, suspected that. It was just one time, so it happens to the best.
It's early in your career.
It was early in my career. I learned from it. I got better, right?
Wait, give me 2 more weeks. We're gonna be listening to Baby Shark after it. Well, really showing. I'm gonna choose violence.
It's my song of the
violence
week.
Next week.
You got a baby on the way or something? What you got going on?
No, not on Father's Day.
All right, Nick. Let me show you how this is done. We're going to end our show today with we're going back to our roots a little bit. We've mixed in some house trance music. We've mixed in some rap music.
Oh, he's taking us out in the woods, Nick.
We've put in some pop music that some people had some questions about but ultimately liked. So we're going to go back.
You might go fishing.
We're going to go back to my friend Paul Salmon's favorite band here.
Paul, what it do, baby?
Called Mike and the Moon Pies. They got a great song.
That's a great song name right there.
They got a great song. It's a working man song. It's called Paycheck to Paycheck by Mike and the Moon Pies. And this is shout out to my good friend Paul Salmons and to all you great country music listeners that are out there.
Bro, what? No way I'm joining a band. He's like, yeah, I'm Mike, so you're in the Moon Pies.
I am not a Moon Pie.
No. I'm like, I'm out, or the band name is changing.
Hey, Mike, this is a fly band and all. I like how you spin. I like how you make me write your songs, but I am not a Moon Pie. Can we get something else, my boy? Yes. Oh, I'm out.
Man.
Moon Pie.
Shout out to Little Debbie's.
Shout out to all of
what pie. What pie would you want to be, Nick, if not a Moon Pie?
I don't want to be a pie.
Exactly.
I thought like apple for a second. I'm like, no, I just don't want to be a pie.
No. Nobody wants to be a pie.
No. Man, Mike got the best of that.
My favorite pie. That's different.
Mike sure did Mike was on the good side of that bet.
Yeah, he was.
They probably had a dice roll. They're like, all right, everybody pick a number. Whoever it is gets to be the name.
He gets to be a moon pie. Bro, I play drums. Ain't no moon pie.
That means you're a moon pie.
My favorite pie is probably a pecan pie.
All right.
That's probably controversial, but that's my favorite pie.
It's controversial just the way you say it. Pecan.
Yeah,
bro, it's tomato, bro.
Yeah, the only answer is it's a pecan.
Right,
potato.
Pecan. Who says pecan?
I bet you Nick says pecan.
Terrorist. Who says pecan?
My favorite pie is apple pie. Put a little scoop of vanilla ice cream on top of that.
A little apple.
Can't go wrong with apple.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm gonna go Dutch apple pie. It's a little bit different, but apple pie is definitely the goat of all pies. If you say,
I like sweet potato pie.
Sweet potato pie is good too.
I should have went one with sweet potato pie, but on the sneak, I like caramel. Caramel is my
sweet potato pie, huh? Depends on how you say it,
bro. Like, who are you? Where are you from?
Open auditions for third host on Stadium Gale start next week.
Who is this guy?
We missed that one in the interview process. We won't do it again, Sil.
Yeah, next thing, like pronounce. Just write pecan out. Like pronounce that, bro.
Sweet potato pie. I can't even do this anymore. This might be my last episode.
Potato. What do you say? Whatever.
No, whoever says potato don't get the job. Well, you can't be my friend.
Oh man. All right, boys.
Potato.
Same quarter, same time next week.
Who says potato?
Nick does.
No, it's just a joke.
Pecan and potato.
Pecan potatoes, yeah.
Just like he puts tomato sauce on his spaghetti.
Ooh, a good tomato soup. How about that?
This podcast has gone off the rails.
I like it.
2 hours with you boys is more than enough.
I enjoyed it, man. I'm a little soft up from the champagne. Still enjoying my birthday a little bit, man. I appreciate y'all boys, man. Same corner, same time.
Already.
Mike and the Moon Pies, take us out.
Hey, we're going undefeated with Jaden Hill, baby.
Oh man.